Hey, hello everybody, this is Purge bringing you guys another replay commentary. This is going to be for Leshrac. I played a Leshrac game yesterday, haven't made one in a long time, and the hero's quite a bit worse than he was in the past, so thought I would do one of him. That's a lie, I actually just randomed him, per usual. So Leshrac is much less OP than he used to be. He used to have somewhere around like a 55% win rate, now he's only about 45.7, which is pretty bad. If anything, he's going to get a buff. Pretty substantial buff, perhaps. The problem is that Leshrac right now is actually a very poor mid compared to most other mids. His spells aren't as effective. Well, that's not necessarily true. One of his spells is much worse than it used to be, and that's the Lightning Storm ability. It used to do up to 265 damage and had like a 7 or 4 second cooldown, and it slowed for a full second. Basically, is more or less what it is here, except the difference, I believe, is that it had... I don't remember if it was more slow. I think it just had way more damage. And the lightning jump radius was a lot more as well. So the lightning, you could basically use it to farm very effectively and set up stuns for yourself. So that was one of his spammable abilities. He also has Diabolic Edict, which does random physical explosions in the area. If there's only one unit, it does more damage. It's good against buildings. And you've got Split Earth, a great skill. It's very similar to the Light Strike Array, the Lena stun, except it does more damage, up to 300 damage on a 9-second cooldown. And it stuns for 2 seconds. Really good skill. His best ability is probably Pulse Nova, his ultimate. You turn it on for 70 to 110 mana, and it does 100 to 160 magic damage in a giant radius of 450 per second. And if you get an Aghs, the damage increases to 220. Now, it's really good at the first skill point because it only costs 20 mana per second to keep up. So Leshrac is best if you can transition him into a bit of a core role and do a lot of magic damage in an AoE. He's very, very good at that. But the problem is that if you play him in a support role, then he doesn't usually get that far. And if he is behind, he's usually not tanky enough to be able to stand nearby and do the Pulse Nova damage. So he's kind of a crappy support for that reason. If you do get ahead with him, then he's great. He's a really good support. But he's not. It's dangerous, and there's probably better supports to pick that don't require setups. So it's just... All arms point to Leshrac not being a very good support hero. He isn't the best mid now, and as a carry, he's arguably not amazing as well. So, with that said, we can look at his other stats. His stat gain is really bad for strength. His agility gain is not that good. His int gain is good. Really good movement speed at 320. His base damage is okay. And his base armor is, frankly, not terrible. 3 armor is okay. 322. Popular skill builds, it's kind of all over the place, depends on what you want to do. The game that I played him here, I actually maxed out Diabolic Edict with Split Earth because I was playing a roaming style. But you can go for a max Split Earth, you can go for a max Lightning Storm, kind of up to what you want to do. The only thing I would say about the Lightning Storm build is that you're going to run out of mana a lot faster if you're spamming that once or twice during a team fight or during a gank, whereas if you turn on Edict and cast one Split Earth and use your ultimate, you're going to have plenty of mana to keep your Pulse Nova going. So that's maybe the major difference for Leshrac in the skill builds. Diabolic Edict is still very good. And this game wasn't the best representation of a game, but common items. Bloodstone is extremely common because you need a lot of mana regen, so that's a gimme. Aghanim Scepter is not something you can usually afford to buy, but it does increase your win rate a bit. Octarine Core is amazing on the hero. It's one of the best heroes for Octarine Core because it amps the damage that you do. I'm sorry, that's not true. It gives you lifesteal, and it reduces the cooldown of your abilities. So when you turn on Pulse Nova, it gives you a massive amount of regen. For every 100 damage you do with Pulse Nova, you heal back 25 of that. As you can see, Leshrac was an OP hero in the meta at one point because all of these players spam him. You don't usually, the heroes that aren't very popular in the pro scene, you'll usually see a lot of unverified players playing him. But as you can see, the best players will play the top heroes in pubs a lot. BKB, Aether Lens, a lot of these items are sometimes important. I actually bought an Aether Lens this game to try it out, and I thought it was okay because I needed some magic resistance due to being against Zeus. Heroes are good against are heroes that are a little bit weak to AoE damage, Phantom Lancer for example. You're decent against Templar Assassin as well due to Pulse Nova as well as Diabolic Edict doing a lot of sources of damage, so you can break his refraction pretty quick. It's a little scary though if TA's ahead though, because if you're playing support you're just going to get 2-shot by the TA, so that's a bit weird. Not quite sure about Brewmaster, probably because of Edict doing physical damage, which kills the pandas. Here's your bad against Arpugna, Lifestealer, Juggernaut. A lot of physical damage, single target heroes. Zeus, you're not the best against either. due to your hero, you having a lot of HP, but being forced to get a magic resistance item. So I'd say if you're against a hero that has a lot of nuke damage like a Zeus, I think you should get an Aether Lens. I don't really feel the pipe method is really an idea that you should do anymore. But in the past, something like that is definitely a possibility. So hero meta statistics, Leshrac is at a 47.6% win rate at 5k and above, and it just kind of gets worse at lower MMRs. And then if we look at my Leshrac, it's actually one of my highest success heroes according to Dota Buff, and I have a 67.44% win rate. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these are old games, so it's not like I only picked him when he was OP. You know, I've been playing, apparently this is one of my first games ever, it looks like. Looks like nothing actually happened this game, not quite sure, but yeah, some really old games here. Oh, this is a practice game. Practice game. Practice game. Not sure what these are. I don't know why I show those practice games, but I played a lot of Leshrac games in the past. Not so much when he was OP, just a couple. So keep that in mind. All right, let's hop into the game. I guess there just wasn't that much to talk about for Leshrac for some reason. It's not exactly true, but I think I was playing with the same stack of guys. Buryu, myself, and Dark Falco. Dark Falco was playing Tiny this game. Can't remember what Buryu was playing. And again, I did random this. So we picked Nyx Assassin for the offlane. We had an Alchemist mid. They picked pretty standard heroes. The only one's maybe a little weird is the Morphling, but
prepare for battle.
So due to me randoming, I had a little bit extra gold. This is basically what I bought. I think I bought a no, I didn't buy that courier. But I also bought a Fairy Fire and 2 Ironwood Branches. Now, if I had randomed, and if you are trying to do something like a roaming Leshrac, I think this build is pretty good. Boots, Clarity, Tango. The reason for that is you're really fast on Leshrac already. If you get Boots on top of that, you're very fast. Your animation is really good. Your base stats are honestly not that bad. You've got pretty good agility here. You've got good int. You can attack fairly fast. Your animation is great. Your damage isn't amazing, but you should be able to push your advantage a bit and do some damage to people. So I actually really, when playing this game, I really liked the Boots Leshrac. It felt really good to me. I'm just going to do the stun setup here. Does 2 seconds of stun and does a lot of damage. I should have stayed in front of this guy. Made a slight mistake not blocking him from that spot. If I would have, I could tell that he was going to go straight for it. So, but I'm just right clicking a lot basically. Have to worry a little bit about ice shards here. Kind of wanted to fight the Jakiro here a little bit. Probably took like 2 more right clicks there than I needed to. And now I go to harassing and zoning and all that good stuff. Now I wouldn't necessarily recommend Leshrac in a duel lane, but it does kind of help that we have 2 stuns. That way if one of us is able to land a stun, the other one will be able to as well. I unfortunately blocked the large camp. But I'm able to pressure this Jakiro pretty well. I don't know why I had vision there. Might have been the observer ward perhaps. Maybe it's just a split earth. No, split earth doesn't give you vision. I'm not quite sure, but I had vision and I was able to kill him. So that felt pretty good. That's something that you need to do sometimes as support. And I don't talk about it very often, but I think that to be a good Dota player, you need to play games like this sometimes where you just do dumb shit and you figure it out. Because by doing dumb shit, you get a better feel about what kind of stuff you can do. And by dumb shit, I mean doing the non-standard things. Like, if I was playing this seriously, I would have gone to the safe lane. I would have been either zoning the off lane or pulling. That's it. That would have been how I played Leshrac. Instead, I go to the off lane. I do a bunch of damage to the Jakiro with an Nyx Assassin. We get out, no problem. Get a lot of right clicks in. I burned through 3 tangos, but now I'm back up to full. I did way more damage than 3 tangos worth. And that transitioned me into, again, pressuring the Jakiro, and I forced an error on him. And you can only force errors by doing dumb shit sometimes. Especially at lower level MMRs like 3k or something like that. Like, you're going to probably go do a dumb shit game and you're going to mess up completely in feed and not know how to recover. But there's going to be other times where you force errors on your opponents because you're doing dumb shit. Forcing errors is something you need to learn how to do sometimes. You need to be able to play a fight and just see how it goes and get it to go in your favor and think quick and solve it. But it's something that needs to be valued a little more, and something that people need to do more to put in their repertoire of Dota moves, basically, to just do dumb shit and get shit happening. Because I just got a first blood because the Jakiro made an error by turning back around, and that was pretty cool. This guy just uses a clarity potion, by the way, so I was going to walk in and give him a little tap here. A little unfortunate the creeps were hitting me, but his mana was pretty low, so I wasn't worried about him nuking me or anything like that. And I cancel his clarity potion, and already I've canceled 50 gold's worth of a clarity potion, and I've also first blooded the Jakiro. Now there's no rune for a while, and the Zeus is still pretty far up, so I pop my clarity potion, and I'm just going to come in and right click him a bit because he doesn't have any mana. He's obviously not watching. I managed to miss a stun, which is pretty cool. But either way, he ends up running away. He doesn't break my clarity potion, which is nice, so now I'm going to get an extra 90 mana out of that. In fact, I've pretty much just zoned him and got a couple extra right clicks out, so that felt good. I grabbed a Diabolic Edict as well because I felt like my ability to roam, like if I boots first, my ability to roam is going to be pretty strong, and getting that is going to allow me to kill heroes a bit more. Now I don't really need the regen here. I was kind of hoping that I found it earlier. Obviously it didn't come up until now, or I wanted somebody to have it, but I didn't really need it. That was pretty clear. I also want to delay the Zeus from getting a rune. I noticed, you can't see, but I noticed that he had an empty bottle. It doesn't look as empty in there, but he had an empty bottle, which meant that I wanted to make sure he didn't get the bot rune. And the bot rune's already gone, so that means that he's probably going to courier or bottle crow. So he's going to go top, and then he's going to bottle crow, I think. So when the creep wave comes, I need to hide, but when it's gone, I'm going to stand here and peer through the opening and look to see if the courier is here. And there we go, there's the courier. I didn't know that it was quite there, but it's pre 3 minutes.
Has been killed.
And by doing that, I not only sniped the courier and got my team a bunch of gold, but I also denied the Zeus of his bottle for, what, 3 minutes or something like that. That's a huge, huge negative thing for him. So just having the presence of mind to think about that based on rune controlling is really good to do if you can. I've basically done a shitload of things in the first 3 minutes. I got a first blood. I pressured the Zeus by denying his clarity potion to prevent him from last hitting as well. And then I also killed his bottle. Also a big deal. With our Nyx's Essence dead for 10 seconds, it's good of me to come to the off lane here to get some free experience. Any experience you can get is good. We should be able to pressure our opponent as well. We've only got a level 1 Diabolic Edict, but it's some damage. Unfortunately, I didn't recast my ability and I missed my spell. So I just kind of fed there. That wasn't good. He messed up his skill build. He didn't mean to go 2 mana burns. I think I opted to buy a magic wand and an observer ward, I would guess, and a TP scroll. I got a ring protection. Okay. Maybe should have bought a clarity potion as well. Basically, my goal was to get a Tranquil boost this game, and I've never tried that before on Leshrac, but I think with the new Veil of Discord, I think that kind of opens up a possibility of an item that you can purchase. Tranquils into Veil is something that you can do basically on a support that's a little squishy, but might also have the survivability, or might want the survivability of the Tranquils, but also having a lot of int out of the Veil. Sorry about that. It's slightly food coma and it's a little bit late. I'm losing some sense of mind or whatever the heck it's called. So I'm just gonna go run around in the jungle. Zone the Morphling when possible. Again, if anybody trades with me in a 1v1, I'm gonna have Diabolic Edict. I actually wonder if you could do Leshrac in as a support zoning an offlane just with Diabolic Edict. How much damage does it do? It does 9 damage per explosion with 40 explosions. So that gives you 9 times 4 basically. Oh, I see Morphling coming.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Did pretty good damage there. So again, we'll just say 10 times 4. Just basically 400 physical damage with 1 skill point. A little bit less though. 10% less in fact. So it does 360 physical, I guess. Would be my guess without doing a calculator. Did a little damage there, did a little bit of zoning. Could be getting a bit more value out of my lane, but I think I'm fairly content. I also went for a second point in Split Earth. You might disagree with this a little bit, because you might think Lightning is good, for example. I maybe could have TP'd for this as well. As soon as I saw the Snowball, I would have TP'd here, and then maybe ran him down. But my HP is a little scary, so I think this is a bit safer to do. But I actually like the Tranquils a lot this game. I thought it was quite good with Leshrac. My armor is respectable now. I've got 7 armor. I've got a lot of regen. I'm running faster as well. That's actually really important with Leshrac. If I'm not taking damage, I'm going to run faster. So if I cast Diabolic Edict and then want to run after somebody or use my ultimate and run after somebody, then I can do that. Didn't anticipate finding this guy here, so I'm basically just chasing right now with Tranquil Boots. I actually normally can't see those explosions. And to pick up a pretty straightforward kill. I don't think that guy played that right at all. It was actually a pretty big mistake, but that's the significance of the kill. If they can't kill you or escape, then they just die. It's really straightforward like that. Maybe I'll try Leshrac support more. I think if you do, you have to go Diabolic Edict though. I think if you go Lightning, you're just going to have too low of a damage impact. Unfortunately, my stun only hit one of them. I'm also quite low here on HP. Just a couple too many things. The Dark Falco was able to get the double kill there.
This'll come in handy.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And I'm going for a Mantle of Intelligence because again I'm going to be making a Veil.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I kind of like just making a Null Talisman on some supports early. It's not terrible. Gives me 9 damage, gives me 60 HP. I'm definitely getting underleveled now. I did a lot in the first 3 minutes, but the next 5 minutes I haven't accomplished very much. So this is usually the part where if you're playing a roaming support and you're trying to just do shit, the best thing to do is probably to get kills. Getting kills is by far the fastest way to catch up on experience. And I have been attempting to get kills, so it's not like I've just been doing nothing. Just I haven't been doing the kills in a smart way that are going to get me experience. So I can also go back to pulling. That's another way to go, which I believe I started here. Just started to pull. Even if I only kill a small camp out of this, it's far enough into the game where doing a single pull is fine. If my carry isn't farming here at least. If my carry's moving around the map going for kills, it's fine if I just do a single solo pull. So I'm just trying to get myself a little bit more experience and a little bit more gold along the path to winning the game. So I get level 5 out of that. I'll probably get Diabolic Edict. Get more damage points in there. And this is going to put me awfully close to 6. And I can just do a bunch of damage to the Starks here just by walking with him. Just taking him for a little walk. Kind of wanted to see if he would get stunned there. He did not. He didn't die, but that's not a big deal. I've got 600 mana. I can cast this so many times. Once you get a little bit of levels into you as a Leshrac, you really don't need that much in terms of mana regen if you go this build. And that was one of the really nice things that I liked about doing this build here. I wouldn't say Leshrac is viable top tier. Like, he's not as good as other common supports, but I think he's not a terrible support. I actually didn't even notice the Zeus for some reason. I was not watching the map. That's one of my biggest problems. Sometimes I don't watch the map very well, but little level 6 there is pretty good. And this time I definitely can kill the Darkseer due to having Pulse Nova. told him to toss me.
Dire's middle
Now the important thing
tower
before the
is under
snowball
attack.
comes is that you turn your pulse nova on. In fact, I'm actually quite late. I actually didn't even turn on pulse nova. That's a huge mistake. I should have turned on pulse nova as soon as the snowball started. The reason is because if you're stunned and pulse nova's on, you're doing damage. If you're stunned and pulse nova's not on, you're really messing up because every second it's on, you're doing damage. So I'm just gonna sit back a little bit until my Tranquils keeps me a little bit more healed, and then I can feel comfortable to go buy my Helm of Iron Will, which is again going to be used for my Veil. Now the reason Veil is actually quite good this game is because we have a lot of magic damage. We've got CM, we have Tiny, we have Leshrac, and we have a Nyx, all of which do magic damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
People will glyph your Diabolic Edict. Some of it will do damage at the end, regardless. And I'm actually standing over here to hide so that they can't see where I am. And just trying to do a little damage here. If you're the only one around, the tower will eventually attack you.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of stuff going on. Should have turned on my ultimate earlier. I realized at this point that he's probably out of damage, and I was able to land my stun. Now the important thing here to beat the Tusk was that I didn't right-click him. If I right-clicked him, then I would aggro tower. If I just walk with him, then my AoEs will do damage and the tower doesn't aggro. And I did end up dying there, but I felt completely fine with that because I was killing him first, and this means it's going to get me experience and not him. So for some reason, I don't completely know why, but it says I got way more gold, probably because this is AoE gold. If nobody's there to get to be in the AoE when you get gold, then you get way less. So if it's a 1v1 and you kill them first but you die after, in most cases you're going to get far more gold than them. If it's you trade your life for a carry and the support's there to kill you, then it's not very good. I don't know why it says Gem Defender, just some bug with Gem TD, I guess. But it looks like we're at a really, really big gold advantage. We've kind of just been accelerating heavily up. I would guess this is mostly, I've been just like AFK this whole time. I would guess that this is mostly just because of the fact that they're probably not farming very efficiently with the heroes they have. They have like what, a Morphling, and we're just kind of running around killing them. So we're getting a lot of advantage from that, but when you use your Pulse Nova, it's important to get last hits. I actually got him there, but I know there's quite a few times where I did not do a very good job with that. I also had the benefit of having a Crystal Maiden. That was another thing that really helped me that I took for granted most of the game. I said, oh, I just have all this mana, this is great. But it's because I have a CM who maxed out Arcane Aura. I think this was the one that I got like no last hits. Yeah, I only got one of those last hits. That is no good. A lot of stuff happening, so I'm just going to push the tower a bit. Again, Diabolic Edict for the damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Again, I will become glyphed, and I'm going to back up because it's a little scary.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's like Zeus TP to the lane. And there's my Veil. So, I love this item build for a lot of int needed supports. It's not good on Skyreth Mage, but for a lot of other supports I think it's very good. For that damage. The Veil on those two heroes, those guys took so much.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Kind of just realized that it was over because he wasn't able to morph anymore. But look how much mana I used there. I used my entire mana pool, and I did a stupid amount of damage to 3 guys. I basically did 100 magic damage a second and a huge AoE for that much time. And I veiled it, so they took 25% more. It's not exactly 25%, but I lowered the resistance by 25%. We knew we could just dive on him due to him using Snowball.
1,000 of your kind have fallen before me.
It's another pretty easy kill there. But just Wand, Tranquils, and Veil gives you so much. Veil is kind of like an alternate to Drum in some ways, but it has a much better active. So if you can get away with getting it on a support hero, I really recommend it. 6 HP regen, 6 armor, and then it gives you 6 to all stats. Agility and strength get 6. You also get 6 damage, and it gives you 18 int. So if you're an int hero, this item's amazing. If you're playing a strength hero that needs some mana in the early game and does some magic damage, or does a lot of magic damage, this could be the item for you as well. But Tranquils with Veil on the hero is just really good. I'm going to put the Veil on the 2. That way when they fight, they're going to take extra damage. CM basically just completely owned that Darkseer there. I'm just going to stroll into this fight as well. My mana's not amazing here, but with Edict and my ultimate, it should be pretty good. Let's use my wand a little bit, but I'm going to check the damage done in this fight, and we'll see how much I ended up doing there. So I'm a support. I've gotten a lot of kills, but I did a stupid amount of damage that fight, and that was literally turning my Pulse Nova on and casting Diabolic Edict. That was literally everything. You can see the distribution here. I used one spell and just left Pulse Nova on and followed them, and they all just died. If they don't kill you, Pulse Nova does a obscene amount of damage. It actually does so much. So first major item you buy after the Veil, in my opinion, if you're playing support. Like, you don't have to go Veil first. You can go Bloodstone, guys. But the difference is that Bloodstone doesn't increase your damage until you get the Bloodstone, really. Like, the Bloodstone guarantees you mana, which allows you to farm. If you are looking for team fighting Leshrac, or if you want to contribute in the early game, you just fucking buy that Veil, and you do what I did. You cast the Veil, you walk into the middle of them, and you use your spells. And all of a sudden, they take way more damage than they're accustomed to at that point in the game. It makes a huge difference in your damage output. And against any hero that's semi-tanky at this stage, they're going to get wrecked by it, because they're not going to have BKBs yet. Even if they do want to build BKBs, they're not going to be able to have it yet. So as you can see, I actually do take a lot of damage from Zeus. I have to be pretty careful about that. But I love this build. Tranquil build, Tranquil Boots, Wand, and a Veil. Just gives you a lot of the things that you need in the early game as a support. Other heroes that this might work on. Let me take a look. Dota2.com. Oops, I should go.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dota2.com/heroes. See if I can figure out some other heroes that I might be good on. Could maybe Justified on Earth Spirit.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Not Earthshaker.
Is under attack.
Support Kunkka? Probably not. I'll think about that later. But there's got to be some heroes that it's good on. Picking up my Soul Booster here. Soul Booster does give you mana regen as well as HP regen. You can maybe argue that I should buy the Soul Ring first, but I think this is an okay choice to go for the Soul Booster first. I like the Soul Booster first in a lot of cases. I've also got a lot of int already due to having the Veil of Discord, so getting some percentage-based mana regen is good. Because that number only affects the amount of int you have. It affects your regen, which goes up based on how much int you have. So if you have a percent-based mana regen item, it's really nice to couple it with an int item. Can also jungle fairly well. My right click damage is good. My armor's really good. My regen's super good. And basically at this point I said I just need to finish my Bloodstone as fast as I can. Because that's going to make my hero a lot better. I'm going to get Bloodstone charges. I'll have more mana regen. All that good stuff. So jungling I went. Gaining about 10 mana a second. Which over the course of Diabolic Edict cooldown means... That's like 220 mana, so even with you spamming Diabolic Edict, I am actually gaining mana. It's in a very good position at this stage in the game, considering that I was a support. And it's pretty fun to jungle on this hero too. You have a lot of different ways that you can kill neutrals if you want to. Diabolic Edict works against just about everything. And I'm only about, 500 gold away from Bloodstone here. Sometimes it is better to still gank. Make sure that if you are playing a support role that you don't just go all in on finishing an item, because sometimes it's too much. Like you still have to rely on defending towers and fighting with your team sometimes. You're not going to get these big downtimes where you can just passively farm in a lot of cases. So even though it may seem like, oh man, I can get this, I can guarantee my timer, sometimes it is better to farm or to fight than it is to go for just a casual farm. Morphling here didn't have that much mana. Instead I farmed a jungle camp. I could have ganked him there. Led into a stun, gotten some damage off, forced him to waveform, and then chase him down or something. And then randomly Alchemist gave me an Aghanim Scepter, and I was like, alright, this shit is on. Not only does it increase the amount of damage that my ultimate does, but it also gives me stats and HP. He's increased my mana regen by 1 point per second just with giving that to me.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And not to mention the about 400 HP I get from that. Yeah, 390 HP I get from having this Aghanim Scepter. So this is a really good case for having an Alchemist on your team. If you do give Aghs to people, if you can translate it into a hero like Leshrac, it would be good. And maybe that's some way that you could do your build if you do want to play with an Alch who gives Aghs. Go mid-Alch, farm some Aghanim Scepters, and pick like 3 heroes that can buy Aghs. And then what you do with that is you say, well, I've got 3 heroes that can use this Aghs. Let's pick whichever one's doing the best, and you give him an Aghs that game. And in this game, it was me, probably. If we look at the scoreboard, Dark Falco, I believe, already had an Aghs at this point, or he was close. So it would have been a waste to give it to him. Instead, he gave it to me. So now I'm a 21.5 minute Leshrac support with a Bloodstone and a Veil. I've got tons of armor, I've got tons of mana regen, and I have, frankly, tons of damage. I maybe should have turned on my Pulse Nova a little bit earlier here. But you can see, I got stunned there because he was on full strength, but it did nothing. It virtually did nothing. Freaking 2000 HP and 18 armor. Like, my armor's actually amazing at this stage. It's pretty impressive. That base the base agility that Leshrac has makes a really big difference to give him decent agility. Maybe there is still some hope for Leshrac carry, for example. I think it's possible. It's like there's going to be a fight over here, so I just wanted to get there a little faster. And now I'm just kind of running at people.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now, if I ever get into a really bad situation, all I really have to do is suicide. We'll heal my allies.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alrighty, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need to buy something that lets me deal with Zeus, because he's gonna be able to kill me too fast. If you're, like, basically heroes that buy a lot of HP, they need to have that solution against, I actually missed a creep, I didn't realize. You need to have some kind of magic resistance if you have really, really high HP and you're not planning on buying a Black King bar. And I maybe should have bought one, to be frank, but I chose not to this game. Instead, I went for the cloak. Then I was like, alright, I'll make a hood, and I'll make a pipe. And then later I was like, why don't I just make an Aether Lens? It'll increase my spell damage by 8%. And I have tons of spell damage, obviously. It'll increase the cast range of Lightning Storm and my Split Earth. And I'm gonna... and it gives you mana regen, and it gives you HP regen. So it should counteract a lot of the stuff that Zeus does, for example. This is basically Aghs on Leshrac. It does an insane... I couldn't believe this guy was actually here. I should have turned my ultimate on instantly. I don't know why I waited so long. I think I shouldn't turn Diabolic on. I should just... To start a fight, I should basically have done the Lightning Veil into stun, and then it instantly turned my ult on. So look at this damage, like... You just do so much as Lesh. In most cases, you actually can't afford to buy the Aghs when you are playing Leshrac, because you usually need to buy something like a BKB. Something around those lines. But I think this is a happy medium with the Aether Lens. 15% spell resistance when I have this much HP will do a massive amount. And the 8% spell increases. Can't hurt either. Does 190 right now, plus 8%. That guy appears to be dead. Try my ulti on as the snowball is approaching. I veiled 3 people. I suicided here because I anticipated dying. I maybe could have waited a moment longer. I did do a pretty incredible amount of damage, though.
You've been mixing with the wrong crowd.
Suiciding is very good, though, against heroes that are about to kill you. It basically prevents them from getting experience from you and prevents them from getting gold from you. I do lose some Bloodstone charges. But basically, I lost nothing but a little gold and the ability to farm, and I punished them heavily by going for kills on me. Make sure you always buy another TP as you leave the base. This is supposed to be a support Leshrac game, but it turned into a core Leshrac game. And maybe I should have bought support items and stuff. But once I got that Aghs, I was like, screw this, I'm going him, man. Full carry.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Need the Diabolic Edict to deal with the catapults. Gold stick. I don't know if I saw the Tusk. I saw him on the map this time, but I feel like this is very crazy, I thought. He actually just let me kill him. Realized that my edict wasn't actually. I think I actually did die here. Yeah, I did. But I killed the Morphling, so I feel okay with it. Oh, that was the 1,000 gold streak. I got 528 for killing the Morphling. Maybe could have bought out. Octarine is clearly the next item I need. In a normal game, if you're not dealing with the Zeus, you'll buy Octarine instead of the Aether Lens. So you'll go like Bloodstone into Octarine or Bloodstone into BKB, depending on what you need. And then afterwards, clean it up with the BKB or something. Aghs really doesn't fit into your item build very well. But you can just see the amount of damage I put out. Like, Morphling just couldn't, he just couldn't deal with it. And I didn't even execute it very well. I went to stun late. I wasn't very efficient with my spell casting. I was hesitating a lot, basically. I don't know why that little guy was over there, but he was. Go push to the lane again, a little bit more. Getting 25 HP per second here. That's so good. It means every 4 seconds I get 100 HP. 100 HP every 4 seconds. So if it's like a 10-second team fight, it's like I have an extra 200. That regen is not to be undervalued. If I got lifesteal on top of that, it kind of puts me into a crazy place. Every Pulse Nova of mine does about as much damage as Tiny's Aghs hit does.
Dire's top tower.
Now, this actually doesn't do damage since it is backdoor, but when the creeps get here, it'll be good. Tranquil Boots may be a bit of a mistake here. 30 movement speed when I attack. In some ways it's better to have a different boots, but the 3 armor is pretty nice to have. From a support role, I think I would still go for Tranquil Boots every time. It's probably not worth it to cast all those spells. It's probably better off if I do use my ulti instead. A lot more mana efficient, I think.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So when I said YOLO and I was gonna go high ground.
No! Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting kind of low here, so I'm gonna have to back. It's a nice stun. I don't know why I turned back around. Probably should not have. By probably, I mean I should not have. Did some good damage though. Was able to kill Morphling, but ultimately not worth it for us. If I was gonna ditch him that hard, I just should have fully ditched. But we're kind of messing around. I was just kind of seeing what I could do to push the hero to the limit. And to be in the reality, what I should probably do is play more conservatively when I play Dota, because I push too hard usually. And it ends up with me feeding in most cases. Too willing to push the limit. So 500 gold and I'll have Octarine. If I had Octarine in that last fight, I most likely would have killed everybody. Because I would have been getting healing from all those little fights. Pretty sure the Darkseer wasn't trying, or he sold his items or something. He was very butthurt, I believe. Alright, Octarine's up now, so even more mana regen, 31.6
Radiant's bottom tower
per second.
is under attack.
So I can basically turn on my
Dire's
ultimate and it
top
stays on.
tower is under attack.
I'm going to be losing about 30 mana per second, but that's not bad. And I also get heals whenever I do damage.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures.
I knew they already
are
had creeps
fortified.
mid, so I felt comfortable going high
Dire's
ground
top
here.
tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
I'm getting
is
healed
under
by this, I
attack.
believe.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's structures
Should adjust my
are
camera
fortified.
more southeast. I'm not looking in a very good spot. Always turn your ultimate on first. Again, as you do more damage to the Veil, you lifesteal more. Worked out pretty well. I stayed alive a lot longer than I thought I would. Thought I was gonna die like 3 times there. When we look at the fight recap, I'll check out my damage done. I really like the Veil with the Octarine. It actually stacks really well. Because any damage you do, you lifesteal more.
I gave up
That was genius.
Can I get a fight recap?
Dire's top barracks are under
I
attack.
believe the fight is still going. There it is. Alright, so... damage done. I did 5,600 damage in that fight. And that was with casting 4 spells and turning my ultimate on. I did about as much as Zeus did. And Zeus did 4 lightning bolts, 5 arc lightnings, and a Thunder God's Wrath.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Yeah, man. Leshrac, good hero. His ultimate is honestly like the biggest selling point of the hero. It just does so much damage.
Dire's barracks has fallen.
Gotta get that Veil off so I can heal more. It's quite slowed.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
There was a very small chance that I was going to be able to do that quickly, but there was a chance.
Dire's
play.
bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's courier has been killed.
I went for BOTs here, realizing that the chase was a little tough. That's another item that you can buy that's very good on
Dire's
Leshrac is a
bottom
Yule
barracks
Scepter.
has fallen.
You can use it to set up your stun, you
Dire's
can use it to
bottom
chase a
barracks
hero.
are under attack.
It's
Dire's bottom
very
barracks
good,
has
honestly.
fallen.
Like
The
having a
Ravens
Yules
now
there
have
after my
negative
Tranquils would have been the ideal thing, because I didn't really want to buy a BKB. But having mobility, like movement speed, is going to be really useful, and the ability to set up a stun on somebody is really good too. So I think Yules, rather than selling my Tranquils to get a BOTs, would have been by far the better item build to do in this case. But I think I went to the side shop to buy an Shiva's Guard, but at this point the items are kind of irrelevant. I think I made it clear how much damage Leshrac really does. He's not a terrible hero, he's just a little bit harder to play now. And I think you do have to go back towards trying to value Diabolic Edict.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's ancient Leshrac has fallen to the Radiant.
And that's pretty much how it ends, so.
Radiant.
Yeah, Yule's Scepter would have been really good. Also, if they snowballed on me, I could Yule's myself and delay that damage. That would have been kind of nice as well. Or if I got Yule's by Jakiro, I could Yule's myself afterwards, but that's Leshrac. I'm going to play more in support in the next couple of days to see if I can reproduce what I did this game, because I thought it was really fun. Really fun game. Boots first is definitely the way to go, I think, because you need to get Edict advantage and mobility advantage over your opponents. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for staying tuned. I will bring you guys another video soon, hopefully a stream in 2 days. I'm sorry, tomorrow. I'm going to post this video the day after I record it, because tomorrow I'm going to start working on some other projects. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.